We got the car all lifted because we're about to go off-road. No, we're not. But when the car's on jack stands, that means we got something to do to it. So let's see what it is. Another package from ECS Tuning. I buy a lot of stuff from them. So if you remember, in the last E36 video that I made, I said that I had a bigger mod that I was going to be doing that I think you guys were going to enjoy. Now this isn't that, but it's in preparation for that. And if you follow my Facebook page, you might have already seen what that is. So there's a little hint right there. So if you're not already following my Facebook page, go check it out. So what we have here are some PowerFlex polyurethane front lower control arm bushings. And what's in here is a hockey puck. If you've never seen one of these before, it's called a flex disc, also kind of nicknamed a guibo. I'll show you where it is. It's this piece of rubber that goes right there in between the drive shaft and the transmission. You can kind of see that mine's got some cracks in it. Well, when I take it out, you'll see it a lot better as far as the cracks go. But it's about time to get that thing replaced. I don't know if we'll get this done today. If we got time for it, we will. But we'll at least get these front lower control arm bushings taken care of. Basically, I think all we have to do is just loosen these two so that this bracket comes off, and then I can just wrench this off of this arm, and then we should be able to get these out and then put the new ones in. Something else I noticed while we're up here is when I'm turning hard right, my tire's rubbing against the inside of my wheel well here, so we're gonna have to get some more offset. Hey! They're this nasty flexible rubber, and we don't want that. So where we're at right now is these are nice and loose, but in order to get these to come off the arm, because they're on there pretty tight, what we're going to use is this oscillating tool that I got from Harbor Freight. It has a blade on it that I got that's for metal and wood, so it should do the job, but here's what it looks like when you turn it on. It just shakes back and forth really fast. There's some teeth here on the end. But basically we're going to put it in here, cut the rubber all around the edge of this so that it can come off. Then there's a metal collar on the inside and a metal collar on the outside, and we'll chop those off too. The good thing is, once we have those off, the polyurethane ones just slide right in. They're nice and easy. What seemed like an eternity, but was probably a half an hour of just chopping away at this thing. This is what it looks like once it's out. We do have this little metal ring around here that we have to cut through or else bash out or something like that. And then what we're left with underneath is this little ring right there that we're gonna have to chop off too. Once that's done, we'll just do it to the other side and then we'll be ready to roll. And there's what the finished product looks like once everything's off. That's the end of the lower control arm. So what I did to get this out of here, as you can see, I just basically hammered the crap out of it till it bent, and then I could, I used a screwdriver and a hammer and hammered the crap out of it till it bent, and then it came out of there. This, what I did is use that oscillating tool to cut along that edge, shoved a screwdriver in here, twisted it to open it up, and then it just slid right off. The hard part's over, at least on this side. We just got to do the other side, and then I'll show you how these things get put back on. And then once it's all done, we're definitely going to be going for a drive so I can give you my impressions to see if I can tell a difference in driving on how this stuff feels. So we got the driver's side all done now, and as is in typical automotive mechanics fashion, the second time went way faster than the first. So here's what the bushings look like. These are the PowerFlex ones. This piece is kind of a two-piece design, so what you'll do is use this lube, put some lube in here, on the inside of here, and then around the outside. As the instructions mention, how everything will go on is the washer goes on here first, and then we'll put this inside of the bracket, and then this goes on this way so the lip is facing the front of the car, just like that. So let's do it. One thing to keep in mind is you want to make sure to lube it up real good, because if you don't, these things will start creaking and make some noise. Now that we have these all lubed up, let's go ahead and put them on. This should fit in here pretty easily now. And it did. Washer, bushing, Sweet. It looks like it's on. The last thing to do is just to bolt it up to the 2 holes up here. There are the bushings all installed. One right there, and one right there. So I figure we might as well go for the Guibo. Now before I actually get started on getting this flex disc replaced, I'm actually gonna go on YouTube and watch some videos on how to do it, so I can hopefully have it all fresh in my mind and get it all done just that much faster. So now it's time to take a little break, have ourselves a little snack, and watch some YouTube videos. I think that'll do it. Let's get started. These flex discs, or nicknamed Guibos, are pretty common to go bad on a lot of BMWs, E36s, E46s, whatever. So if you're getting some vibration from your drive shaft, or if you're getting some weird clunking noises, get under there and check it out. There's a good chance it's going to be cracked as bad as mine. So what we have to do to get this thing in is disconnect the exhaust, and then there is a carrier bearing on the drive shaft we have to disconnect. And then after that, we pull out this heat shield that runs all the way along here, and then we should be able to get this all unbolted and changed out. I have the exhaust out, the heat shield out. I had to drop a couple other things. There's a little support for the drive shaft, and that's the carrier bearing right here on the drive shaft that I had to drop, and then this sucker just came out. Now for the comparison between the old flex disc and the new one. There's the old one. You can see all these huge cracks around here. They pretty much go around the whole thing. And there's even a little bit of the fibers sticking out on this side where it's really bad. But basically, holy cow, look at that. It needed to get replaced. There's the new one, all in perfect condition. So, I'm just gonna get back under here, put this sucker in there. Something to remember, if you're doing this yourself, this is an important part. You see these little arrows right here? So each of these arrows, you want to make sure that they're pointing towards where they connect. So basically this arrow is pointing here to the left. You want it to be connected right there on the left side. If you don't do that right, this thing's gonna shake itself to bits. So make sure you do it right. Now, what I'm gonna do is snap my fingers, and then this will all be done. Believe me, I wish it was that easy. So the hardest part about everything wasn't switching out the bushings, wasn't switching out the Guibo, or anything in between. It was getting that freaking heavy exhaust back on. The bolt where it bolts up to the headers, since there's 2 different pipes, it was just, oh, it took me forever to line those things up. But it's all on, and it's all back together. All I gotta do is clean up and get this thing on the ground, and then we'll go for a little rip. First things first, let's get rid of some aggression by getting rid of this piece of crap. With all the stuff that we did today, we got to make sure that everything's good to go before we really go for a drive. So, since we took the exhaust off, the first thing I'm going to do is start up the car and make sure that we don't have any exhaust leaks. It all sounds like normal to me. No leaks. Now the next thing that we have to do is take this thing for a drive to see if my front wheels fall off. Okay, so as we get rolling, there's gonna be some things that I'm gonna be checking for. The first is if I notice a difference from changing out the flex disc to see if we have any less drivetrain vibration. I think I do have less drivetrain vibration, but I gotta go a little bit quicker before I decide for sure. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That's a lot better. Oh my gosh. That's so much better. I wish you guys could feel the before and after just in my shift knob with how much vibration is reduced from changing out that Guibo. I didn't really know what it was like to have a good one because when I bought this car, I knew that it was cracked and it needed to get replaced, so it's been bad the whole time. Now what we gotta do is kind of take some twisties and some turns, see if I can feel a difference with those polyurethane bushings and to make sure that they're not making any noise. Oh yeah. Okay, so far so good. Can't really say that I notice a huge difference in the polyurethane bushings, but that was expected. It wasn't going to be anything drastic. What I do think that I noticed is when I'm changing direction back and forth, like this, that the initial transition, the initial turn in, I guess I should say, is a little bit sharper than it was before. Now that reminds me, while I was underneath the car, I also noticed that these back tires are pretty much gone. There's a little bit of tread left in them, but I am into the wear indicators. So we're gonna have to do a fat drift or a big old burn or something to send these tires off and welcome in the new ones. Because there's no way tires are leaving this car while there's still an ounce of tread left on them. Let me know which one you guys would rather see me do. Would you rather see me send these tires off with some big old drifts? Or would you rather see me send these tires off with the biggest burnout, smokiest burnout I've ever done? If you have any questions about the finer points of the install, you can go ahead and ask me in the comments and I'll make sure to get back to you. And if this is your first time heading over to the channel, make sure to click the logo behind me to subscribe. And if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more Treats on the Streets, you can go ahead and click these videos here. I will see you guys next time. And I'm going to go ahead and send you guys off with a little launch.